ThatOrganicMom here, and today I want to tell you a little bit about something that I call the math switch. Last year I homeschooled my two youngest kids, Harmon and Shauna. They were in 2nd and 4th grade last year, and we started out on a curriculum, and I'm not going to name the curriculum because I just don't want to badmouth this company, because I believe that they have some good curriculum. But this curriculum was not for us. So we started out the year using this math curriculum, and from day one, no one liked it. I didn't like it. The children didn't like it. But because I had already paid for it, I tried to suffer through. And after a couple of months of using this particular math curriculum, my kids were at the point that they would beg me to let them out of doing their math. They would say things like, "Can I clean the toilets for you instead of doing math today?" Or, "I'll scoop all of the litter boxes." We have a few cats. I'll clean all of the litter boxes. I'll clean out the chicken coop. I'll do this, I'll do that. But they would try to bribe me by doing things, chores around the house. They would tell me they would double up on their other subjects if I would just let them out of doing math. Then one day I realized I hated it just as much as they did, and I started to think about when I was in high school. And the year that I took algebra, there was a teacher at my high school. It was her first year teaching algebra. She would write the problems on the board, and she would work through one problem maybe, and she would just give us the assignment, give us the page number and tell us to work on it. To make a long story short, 75% of the class failed algebra that year. The teacher did not explain how to do the work, and I ended up hating algebra at that point. I was one of the 75% that failed, and my dad was a perfectionist, and he had very high expectations for me. And I remember how disappointed I felt letting him know that I had failed algebra. I was so ashamed of myself, and I just hated algebra, hated it. I thought, I never want to take another math class for the rest of my life. And I had to, of course, take the course over the following year, but a pretty amazing thing happened. I got Miss Thompson, and Miss Thompson was amazing. She explained algebra in a way that just made sense to me. She actually took the time to show step by step how a problem worked. And if we didn't get it, she would show us again. And I ended up acing algebra that year, and I actually found out that I loved algebra. I loved it a lot. I enjoyed working out the problems. It's concrete, it's 2 + 2 is always 4, and just the equations were fun to me, and I made straight A's. Pop quizzes didn't bother me because I actually understood the material. So it was a completely different experience. It was the same subject, the same book, the same problems, but a different way of teaching it. And so at halfway through the year last year, this memory of how horrible math class was and how the algebra nearly ruined my high school years, because I had failed, and I just thought algebra wasn't something that I could do. But the next year, I got my confidence back because I enjoyed it after she explained it in a way I could understand. So halfway through, I decided that I didn't want my children to feel that way, and I didn't want to feel that way. I didn't want to be that teacher that made them not enjoy learning. And even though I felt bad because I had spent the money on this curriculum, I just decided that we weren't going to finish it. And instead, I just put it away. And instead of doing that, we took a couple of weeks off. We didn't do any math at all. And they started to kind of relax and enjoy school again. And it was great. We were all having fun again. And so after a while, I just started easing back into doing some math. We would do math facts, and I would use extra math and IXL and some different free math apps and websites, and then we spend a lot of time on Khan Academy. Actually, I spent so much time with the Khan that I made a donation because I was realizing how much we were using that website and getting energy points. So we did a lot of Khan, and we just basically learned math facts. I did not use a curriculum for the rest of the year last year. So I started asking around to other homeschool friends and looking on forums and just asking in some of the Facebook groups that I was in. And, you know, I had used other types of math with my older children before, but it had been a while and I wasn't sure just exactly which one we needed. So we started with a new math curriculum this year, and it is teaching textbooks. And I have to say that the first day I installed the program on my computer for my youngest daughter, she's in 3rd grade this year, she wanted to keep going. One lesson wasn't enough for her. She loved it so much and she enjoyed it so much that she ended up doing 5 lessons on the first day. And I was just amazed, and she got like a 95 or 100. She aced all of the first 5 lessons. And I had done the placement test to make sure that they were, because I was afraid that maybe they would still need to redo last year's grade level, but they both placed in the exact level for where they should have been, 3rd and 5th grades. So that impressed me. But then when they started doing teaching textbooks, they loved it, and they were excited about doing school. They were excited about doing math. And while my son has done really well and he enjoys the lessons, he doesn't necessarily like to work ahead and do a bunch of lessons. But my daughter has done a ton, and she hardly ever just does 1 lesson. She usually ends up doing 2 or 3. So the takeaway from this is not, oh, you should switch to teaching textbooks, because that might not work for you. The takeaway is, if something isn't working for your kid, don't keep doing it, and don't feel guilty about it. And just learning should be fun and enjoyable. Now, I'm not going to say that our school is always fun. I'm not going to say that they every day wake up, oh, I can't wait to do school. It's not like that. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to paint a picture of like all of these flowers and unicorns and glitter where it's all just so wonderful every day. But math is a totally different experience this year, and we're so happy. I am relieved, because I was just thinking, if we don't like math this year, what am I going to do? I was a little worried, but it just helped me to remember, and I should know this by now with having 6 children, but it did help me to remember that every child is different and they all learn, you know, in their individual ways, and it's better to stop something that isn't working than just to keep on pushing through it even though it's clearly not working. So that's my takeaway, and you probably already know this, but maybe there's someone out there who doesn't know, or maybe there's someone who just feels really guilty to stop doing a particular curriculum and switch to something new. And I just want to say that, you know, sometimes that is the best choice you can make. So if you've enjoyed this video, please take a minute to give it a thumbs up. And while you're at it, subscribe to this channel, because I have a lot of other fun stuff that we cover. If you have any suggestions for how to make school fun, or if you have a homeschooling blog or website and you want to suggest it to me, just leave it in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.